So today's show's all about Bluetongues, and in particular, baby Bluetongue skinks. That's right. Now, we produced a couple of these, and today we're going to check out and see the whole process. So the way I breed Bluetongues is very simple. Basically, I put them into a hibernation or a brumation sort of state around about April. So they go April, May, and then they usually come out around June. They sort of all come up, start to get a little bit more active. Males typically need to completely shed their whole scales off their body, and then they're a little bit interested in the girls, if you know what I mean, and they'll start pacing up and down in these tub systems. Now externally they do exactly the same thing in the outdoor pens. They start pacing up and down. The females seem to be a little bit more receptive around about this time towards the males' advances, which makes it a little bit easier, obviously, because if the females aren't receptive and they put up a bit of a fight, we can have some accidents. We could lose legs, tails, and we're also seeing some pretty horrific things happen with Bluetongues just fighting in general. So we need to make sure that when we're introducing males to females or females to males, that we're sitting around and actually observing and making sure, basically we're going to be the referee, making sure that nothing goes too crazily wrong. Now, we put them together, they mate. Now typically around about 90 to 125 days, roughly gestation period, the females will then basically, I mean, the whole process in 125 days can be a little bit different, a little bit vague for everyone. Typically what I've seen is that the females will have a pre-lay shed, and then about 3 to 4 weeks after a pre-lay shed, that's when the females will typically stop feeding. They will basically start being a little bit more aggressive, start huffing and puffing, a little bit of labour breathing, and then, if with any luck guys, you're going to see some baby Bluetongues pop out just like this. Now as the babies come out, they come out individually. Mum seems to check each individual baby, and she seems to do a bit of part of the cleanup crew. So if there's any of this sort of placenta or basically goop that's left over, she'll eat that up. That actually helps her get a bit of protein back in her body and help reset the clock. Now you can see the babies will also try and contribute by eating some of the placenta or even some of the other fragments that are left behind. That gives the babies a great big hit of protein, a big booster for the start in life. Now you can see they're absolutely tiny little things. Now mum can drop babies over a couple of hours, or she could also take up to 24 to 48 hours, depending on how many babies she's got, depending on how cramped they are inside her, how far they're jacked up inside they are, and she will drop them out one by one. Now, as the babies start to become a little bit more, basically they become a little bit aggressive towards one another. So typically they scamper and sort of disappear into the bush. There's really no maternal instincts when it comes to Bluetongues looking after the babies. The babies disappear into the bush, and that's it, mum moves on. Now, the good thing is mum will, like I said, she'll clean up after herself. She'll take care of whatever's left in there and remove all the rubbish. We take the babies out, we separate the babies because the babies can be quite aggressive to one another, and that's a natural instinct because the babies need to be able to fight and defend for themselves as soon as they hit the ground. So that's one of the most amazing things. Now, with any luck, you're going to end up with some absolutely gorgeous little babies, and I can tell you now, they are absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show about these gorgeous little Bluetongue lizards. That's right, a couple of little baby Bluetongue lizards that we've had this season. Absolutely drop-dead gorgeous little babies. Make sure you hit me up on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and don't be afraid to leave me a comment below. And always, thank you so much for watching CrittaCam.